down the basement, lock the cellar door, and baby, talk bloody to me.
Hi, welcome to another edition of Talk Bloody to Me. I'm Matt.
And I'm Brizzy.
And this week we have another fan request. I think we like this one a little better than last week. But what movie are we talking about today, Breezy?
We are talking about the fabulous movie Oculus.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not really like a horror, it's more of a paranormal, but it's still a great ass movie.
Yeah, it is. It came out in 2013. Apparently, when I was looking for this, there's like a on Tubi, there's like a 2024 movie called Oculus that's about like the afterlife and it's sci-fi and it's really weird. That's not this movie. This
No,
movie
no.
is this movie, like Breezy said, it's like a paranormal suspense thriller mystery kind of thing.
Hmm.
Definitely some horror elements to it.
Oh
Um,
yeah, for sure.
but it's basically about like a mirror that's haunted or possessed. They don't ever really totally fully explain it, but it causes people to see things that aren't there and do
Mhm.
things that they're not in control of their own body. And it's kind of tells the story of these two kids, a girl and a boy, and how it affected their parents and their life. And then in the modern days, they track down the mirror and they're trying to destroy it.
Right.
When did you first see this, Breezy? I just saw it for the first time.
Uh I seen it not in theaters. I think it was like on DVD when it was rental.
Okay.
So it's been a while, but I think I own it
Okay.
somewhere. I think I do. But I've seen it multiple times because it's a good movie.
Right. Because you couldn't believe that I hadn't seen it. You were like, what? Are you kidding me?
Well, somebody like I seen that person like comment like, "Have you seen Oculus?" And you said no. I'm like, oh my gosh, man, you gotta fucking see it.
You're like, you're embarrassing the podcast right now by saying you haven't seen this movie.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, it is really good. I liked it a lot. So the main character, the woman is her name is Kaylee, and she is played by Karen Gillian or Jillian. I'm not sure 100% how to pronounce it.
Right, yeah.
But she, if you are a fan of Doctor Who, she is Amy Pond from Doctor Who, from the 11th Doctor's companion. So that was exciting. I was like, holy shit, it's Amy Pond. So I was
Yep.
like excited about that. And then it's her brother gets out of basically an insane asylum, and they've convinced him that he's imagined everything, but she's wants to take revenge on the mirror. And what are some of the like precautions she's taken?
Well, when they were kids, like she kind of figured that there was something going up, more so
Right.
like her brother. That's why she wanted to store the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they were kids, like their dad end up I want to say cheating, but it's not really cheating. It's the whole mirror that's actually doing it.
Right.
And then fast forward when they grow up, she's trying to convince like her brother, like, dude, it is the fucking mirror.
Yep.
And then like, she brings in like they call it the dog, which there's no name for it. It's just she just
Yep.
named it the dog. They brought in fake, no, not fake plants, real plants that actually died,
Mm-hmm.
with water, and they always have to like they put a timer on, they had to hydrate and then go back at it. And then timer will go off, freaking eat. And then
Yep.
it's
Exactly.
really just yeah.
Because she's done her homework and she knows like all about like the past victims of the mirror and what happens and like how um this you can't control necessarily trust yourself when you're in the room with this mirror. And so she had, like you said, the timers to eat, the timers to hydrate, and then the plants, because in all the previous cases the plants died, and the plants aren't dying. The dog is in the cage facing the mirror. Everything's fine. And they're
Mm.
arguing. And he's like, it's all in your head. And he's like, you didn't have the help I had. And all of a sudden she's like, oh, wait a minute. And then all the like the plants start dying. And then that's when the
Yeah, and
shit starts to hit the fan.
they also put two video recorders, facing each not facing each other, but recording themselves and go backtrack. Like, see, it actually did happen. Or do you remember that? No, I don't remember that.
Yeah, that's a really cool part where they're talking and they're arguing, and she had set up a whole bunch of cameras to record everything. And then when they snap out of it, the cameras are lens to lens facing each other, and they're like, well,
Yep.
what the hell? So then there's a camera on the wall, so they rewind that one, and like as they're arguing and fighting, they're actually moving the cameras together, like as and like they don't remember doing it. It's
Yeah,
really
because it didn't
it's
really
really
happen.
cool.
Because it didn't
Yeah.
really happen.
Yup.
So technically they were arguing, just they didn't move the cameras.
Right. And it's like the whole movie is like that, and it mixes in flashbacks of when they were kids and how the mirror affected their parents with like hallucinations and things that aren't really happening. And sometimes it's like they're hallucinating the things that actually happened in the past, and you're not sure if it's a flashback or a hallucination, or does it really matter. But
Yeah.
the mirror's fucked up, is at the end of the day, is basically what the moral of the story.
Yeah, there's a scene, a couple of scenes, like when you look at the girl in the mirror or some person in the mirror, they have like this like glowing like eyes, but they're
Yeah.
not really glowing. They're like, I don't know how to explain it. They're kind of like marble looking
They're almost
eyes.
like if you're driving at night, like for those of us that have lived in the
Yeah.
country, if you're driving at night and you see an animal like a raccoon or a
Yeah,
deer
there
in
you
the
go.
headlights and they like reflect that light,
Yeah.
it's like that, almost like they're reflecting light back really bright.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just really wish that they can explain a little bit more detailed on like what's behind this, like this mirror, like why is this possessed?
Right,
Because I really
exactly.
want to know why it's this mirror like gives so much powerful.
Right. All she really says is that its origins are unknown or something. And then she tells all these stories about different families that had it and how their dogs disappeared and all their plants died. And usually it ends up someone brutally murders someone else. And then it's like the mirror. It was the mirror that did it. So
Yeah.
what are some of your favorite scenes? What's like, oh, we should also say they have a big almost like an anchor, a big metal spike that's super heavy rigged up so that, and it's all
Oh yeah.
not on electricity. So if that an hour goes by and they don't reset the timer, that'll swing down and smash the mirror. Because anytime they've ever tried to break the mirror, it like they think they're hitting the mirror and then they go back and show it and they're actually hitting the wall next to the mirror. Like, why won't it break? Because the mirror is making them see what's not there and stuff.
And like also like that redhead chick got killed by that mirror too, because like the thing came up and came right in her mouth,
Oh
her
yeah.
face. So she
Yeah.
pretty much died right on the mirror.
Yup. That was
But
crazy.
my favorite scenes, I want to say like my go-to favorite one of the whole dang movie is when she's in the kitchen with her brother.
Mm-hmm.
And no, she wasn't in the kitchen by that time. He wasn't. It was just by herself. And she was changing out the light bulbs on
Yes.
the light. And all of a sudden, like she grabs an apple, bites into it, but it turns into a light bulb.
Yes. That's
So
exactly the one I was
she's
gonna
like,
say.
yeah. So she like did this, and she's like freaking out, pulled a piece of glass out of her tongue, her
Uh-huh.
mouth, because it cut her tongue.
Yup.
And then all of a sudden, her brother comes in. He sees her freaking out, and he's like, "Oh, an apple," and she's like,
Yeah.
"That's my favorite one. What's yours?"
That was exactly what I was gonna say. My favorite one. She because it's like there's a big it's a big round. She's eating an apple because the timer went off that she should eat. So she has an apple in her hand, and then they have floodlights with a big round light bulb, and one
Yep.
of them like exploded. So she takes it out and sets it down next to the apple, and they show it when she sets it down next to the apple that they're about the same size. And then she puts the new light bulb in, and then she grabs the apple, and they show her actually grabbing the apple. And then you hear the bite, but you don't see it, but you hear the bite and the glass crack, like the
Yep.
and then they show her from the front, and her mouth is just blood, and it's just like, oh my god.
Yeah. That. Oh shit. That's gotta hurt. Like
Yeah,
really bad.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Another part I really like is it shows when they're kids, and basically what happens is the mirror possesses the dad, and the dad is torturing, has the mom chained up and is torturing her. The mirror
Mhm.
possessed the mom at first, but then later possessed the dad, and he's torturing, and the kids are trying to get help. So she calls the doctor, and he's like, "What did the doctor say?" And she's like, "She said, have your dad." They said, "Have your dad call."
Yep.
And then later on, it's the present day, and they're outside, and they thought they called 911, And she's like, well, did you call them or didn't you? And he's like, I don't know. He's like, I'll call them again. And they're like, 911 dispatch, how can I help you? And he's like, yeah, hi, this is so and so. And I just call. And all of a sudden it like cuts him off in mid sentence. He goes, have your father call, like that, like with a really weird voice. And then it
Yeah.
like starts repeating, like, have your father call, have your father call, have your father. It's like, oh my God, messed up my
Yep.
computer. It's so scary. No, just kidding.
No, if I like own a mirror, it would be like something like that, but not possessed. I mean,
Right.
it looks, I like the mirror as a whole, just not the what comes with it.
Right.
I'll put that in my room.
Yeah, it's like big and like metal and kind of elaborate and dark
It's like
looking.
goth looking
Yeah, goth.
type
That's a
deal.
perfect way to
That
describe it.
gothic Victorian style.
Yeah.
That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah. So it seems like the mirror, like if you stare into it long enough, or if it kills you, or if you die, then like the mirror is able to make like a clone or like a glowy eye version of you to shoot
Yeah.
out into the world. So when her dad was cheating, or they thought he was cheating, was that just an illusion, or was he cheating on a like with a ghost from the mirror?
I think it's pretty much the ghost like a mirror.
That's what I thought too. Like that's why he was hanging out in his office all the time because oh, because there's
Yeah.
the girl says the someone says the line. I think it's the boy says that woman was in his office again, and the mom's like, "Oh, really?" And he's like, "I think she lives in there." So that would make
Yeah.
sense that it's
So
someone that comes
so
out of
it's
the
like
mirror.
in the mirror.
Yeah, that's kind of
It's
fucked
the,
up.
yeah, it is kind of fucked up. It's like, oh, you're getting turned on by a ghost that comes through the freaking mirror. I think you have a problem.
Yeah, exactly. uh, so anything else about Oculus? It was really good. I liked it a
Yeah.
lot.
hmm what would you rate it?
I think I am gonna give it a 9. The only reason I dock at 1 point is because at the beginning, when they're setting it all up, and the brother is like, "No, you're imagining things," and she's like, "No, the mirror is real," and he's like, "No, it's fake," and she's like, "No, it's real." To me, that drags out just a little bit too long. I wish that was just like
Yeah.
5-10 minutes shorter, and they got to the because we all know the mirror is going to end up being supernatural. It's not like any of us are surprised, like, "Oh, what? It really is
Yeah. Yeah.
real."
Yeah.
And I get why they do it. They're building up the tension and they're setting up the story and all that, but still, it seems
Right.
like
But
it's just
it's
a
dragging out a little bit too long. It's like, okay, we get it. Just move on with it.
exactly. And
Um,
so yeah, 9.
my other favorite one, I forgot about this scene.
Okay.
The beginning of the movie, she was actually looking at the mirror just by herself,
Hmm.
and behind her was that uh you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that
It
was
looks
really
like
cool too.
it looks like three, no,
It,
technically two, but then there's three.
it's like
And then
I think they call them busts, where it's like this just the head of a statue,
yeah,
and then they have
statues.
the sheet over the top, so it looks like the old school like cartoon, just white sheet ghost.
Yeah, and they're like angels pretty much.
Yeah.
And then, so they're like, she turned around and they're like kind of moving because they're like doing this
Hmm.
or something with their heads. And then she looked and she grabbed like, oh, the very first time I watched that movie, I'm like, okay, something is going to fucking pop out when she yanks that off. And nope,
Yep.
nothing. Really
Yeah.
nothing.
Because what happens is there's two of them, and then she looks in the mirror, and there's three of them, and then she looks back in real life, and there all of a sudden is three of them, and so she pulls the sheet off the first two, and it's just the statue, and then she goes to pull the sheet off the third one, and someone's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And she's like, "Oop," and she stops, and then she turns back, and the third one is gone,
Yep.
and so it's like it gives you like it's like, oh, they gave me blue balls. I wanted to see
Blue
so
balls.
so to speak. I wanted to
Yeah,
see some
pretty
sort of
much.
like had some sort of horrible thing behind there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I feel like, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I would rate mine probably like 9.5. I wish there was more like jump scares.
Yeah. And there could be a little bit more. I mean, I know it's like more of a suspense thriller, but there could be a little bit more blood or a little bit more gore. We like it nice and gory here at Talk Bloody to Me.
Well, yeah, but it's like supernatural. There's
Right,
not really
true.
gonna much blood. It should be more jump scares when it comes to paranormal
That's
like
very
that.
true. Good
You
point.
know, I
Yep.
don't expect any blood. I'm more expecting more jump scares.
I want to see Army of Darkness where the guy falls into the pit and then like blood shoots straight out for like 5 minutes.
Oh,
No, just
geez.
kid, just kidding.
Shit. Wow.
Yeah. All
But
right,
yes,
so
I would give
nine
it,
and a half.
I would give a 9.5. Yeah.
So we highly recommend Oculus.
For sure.
Much better than In a Violent Nature.
Oh God, were you going to keep talking about that?
I have to bring it up every episode.
Oh geez, that's probably going to get old pretty quick, you know.
Yep, exactly. All right, so that's it for another episode of Talk Bloody to Me.
And
Thanks so
another
much for
fan
listening.
request. That was a fan request too.
Yep, keep the fan requests coming. We
Oh,
appreciate them.
and I forgot to mention this too. Halloween is coming out 99 days until Halloween. Make sure you send us any top favorite movies or your go-to movies during fall and Halloween month.
Yeah, anything that's your favorite go-to spooky Halloween theme time, whatever movie.
Yep.
All right. All right. And we get our followers are growing, our subscribers are growing.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Our last episode got more views than ever before. So we thank
Yeah,
you
we
all.
appreciate that. We appreciate that so much.
All right. So thank you so much. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.